Hey guys, it's Brett. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It is Tuesday, and that means it's time for the Tuesday Laydown, the second episode, where I talk about some books that are coming out today, what I'm currently reading, and today I want to talk a little bit about the long list, NBA long list, since I did so spectacularly badly on my predictions. So yeah, let's do it. All right, so as I said before, I always like to start with what I am currently reading this week. But first I want to talk about what I just finished, and I'm either going to do a longer video about this as a full review or talk about it more in depth at the end of the month in my monthly wrap up. But that is Maggio Farrell's The Marriage Portrait. I really enjoyed this, and I thought that, but here's the thing, I thought I was gonna love it. I didn't love it. I liked it a lot. Part of it, full disclosure, I had so much happening in my life this week that it was hard for me to sit and really read. So it took me well over a week to get through this. And so I think the putting it down and picking it back up didn't help. But I did find it a little bit by the end. There was a plot point that I kind of knew was coming really early on that disappointed me a little bit. However, I do think she's a spectacular writer. There are so many passages in this that are just beautifully done. So I would still recommend it. It's not Hamnet to me. So now, beyond that, what my week is looking like. I've already started Black Folk Could Fly by Randall Kennon. Randall Kennon, this is selected writings. They're all nonfiction. Randall Kennon passed away in 2020. It's fantastic. I read his previous book, If I Had Two Wings, which was on the short list for the Aspen Words Literary Festival, and I thought they were really great. And I thought they were really good. I like this nonfiction better. It's a lot about him so far, growing up in the South in North Carolina, but I find the writing beautiful. The essays are gorgeous. So I'm only about 40 pages in, but I'm really enjoying it. And thank you to Norton for this copy. Then hopefully this week I'm going to get to My Policeman by Bethan Roberts. This of course is the same that's going to be the movie coming out shortly with Harry Styles onto Amazon, and to the movie theaters and then on Amazon. This is continuing my exploration of E.M. Forster and the fiction works surrounding his life. But I'm excited about this one. And then I just started on audio, Stephen King's Fairy Tale. His stuff is great on audio. And if you want to try out a Stephen King, I would highly suggest them. And if that's something that any of you are interested in, let me know below, and I can give you some suggestions on what are good King books to try out on audio. So that's where I am with my current reads. Okay, for today's Tuesday Laydown, I want to focus on 3 books that are coming out today. One I've read, one I'm really excited to read, one I could care less about, but it's going to sell a lot of copies. The first is Elizabeth Strout's Lucy by the Sea. I've talked about this so much, but whatever, I'll reiterate it again. This follows her character of Lucy and William, which picks up pretty much right where her last book, Oh William, left off. But Lucy and William are now facing the beginnings of COVID, and it follows the characters through the pandemic and lockdown and what happens, as well as incorporating characters from other stories and other worlds. They come into this as well, and it's kind of really cool to see how she pulls it all in. So anyway, Lucy by the Sea out today, highly recommend. Next is Less is Lost by Andrew Sean Greer. This of course is the follow-up to the the best-selling and Pulitzer Prize winning Less. It is following the character of Arthur, who is in some financial trouble, so he goes on a tour across the country to make money. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of Less, and I think it could have been the time I read it or something. There's a certain books that they hit you a different way, and for me, I didn't I didn't find it so incredibly revelatory. That said, I'm kind of interested in this, and maybe it's just the FOMO in me and wants to stay on top of things. So I am interested to see what Less is Lost will bring. I don't have any. I don't remember the first one enough that it could almost be like a new experience, and I'm totally fine with that as well. So, but I am excited about this. Less is Lost. The last is sure to be a bestseller. Not one for me, but is Dreamland by Nicholas Sparks. A little blurb about this. From the #1 New York Times bestselling author of The Wish comes a poignant love story about risking everything for a dream and whether it's possible to leave the past behind. Colby Mills once felt destined for a musical career until tragedy grounded his aspirations. Now the head of a small family farm in North Carolina, he spontaneously takes a gig playing at a bar in St. Pete Beach, Florida, seeking a rare break from his duties at home. But when he meets Morgan Lee, his world is turned upside down, making him wonder if the responsibilities he has shouldered need dictate his life forever. I'm sure this is going to be a massive hit, and for those who love their Nicholas Sparks, why not? But again, not for me. So those are the big releases that are hitting today. I don't know if any of those are interesting to you. I don't know if they're on your radar. So yeah, let's move on to the National Book Award shortlist, or long list, sorry, the long list. I bombed out big, right? The only book I did manage to capture on the 10 was If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffrey, and here we are. So it's okay, it's okay. I think it's long. I think this is a list that surprised a lot of people, and it surprised them in a very positive way. It's clearly an incredibly diverse list. I would say it's probably the most diverse group of authors that has ever been on the long list. Someone can certainly correct me if I'm wrong on that. There were 463 books that were submitted by publishers to get to this 10. 8 of them are debuts. The only previous writer who had been on the list before was Gayl Jones. This is her book this time, The Birdcatcher, which I'm excited about reading. But everybody else are new. There are 3 short story collections, and there's even this year a crime novel by Ramona Emerson called Shudder, which is it bridges the gap between crime and supernatural, which is a crime photographer, and her pictures apparently help her solve these crimes. But which I don't know why, because I picked up some of these books because I thought, well, I'm not going to read this whole long list. After gutting through most of the Booker Prize, I'm just kind of fried a little bit. So I thought, well, at the very least, I want to pick some of them to read, and I was kind of going through, and I don't know why the cover maybe didn't grab me, but now I desperately want to read it, and I've gone through like all my different Pango, the library, put it on hold everywhere and see where it comes in first. Some of the others, though, that I do have that I'm excited to read, The Rabbit Hutch by Tess Gunty. This I've talked about before, and this sounds fantastic. This was also just won the Waterstones First Fiction Award in the UK. So I think this sounds great, really interesting. So I'm excited about this one. Another one that I have started before, which is The Town of Babylon by Alejandro Varela. And it's weird. I started this book. I just think I started at the wrong time because there are a few people that I trust their taste implicitly over on Bookstagram. And they had said to me specifically, you have to read this. You are going to love it. This is one of the best books that I've read all year. And I started it. And again, I just think I was in the wrong place and I wasn't tapping in. So I'm excited to give this another chance, especially in light of the fact that it's nominated for this award. So I don't know if any of you have read this. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have, please let me know. This sounded really interesting to me. The Haunting of Hajji, Hotak, and Other Stories by Jamil Kochai. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that name. You know I suck at them. A little bit about this one. Penn Hemingway finalist Jamil Kochai breathes life into his contemporary Afghan characters, moving between modern-day Afghanistan and the Afghan diaspora in America. In these arresting stories, which verge on both comedy and tragedy and often star young characters whose bravado is matched by their tenderness, Kochai once again captures a singular, resonant voice, an American teenager raised by old-world Afghan storytellers. That was from the New York Times Book Review. It sounds really, really, really good, so I'm excited about that one, as well as this by Sarah Thankam Mathews called All This Could Be Different. Again, a little bit about this. From a brilliant new voice comes an electrifying novel of a young immigrant building a life for herself, a warm, dazzling, and profound saga of queer love, friendship, work, and precarity in 21st century America. So those were the ones to me that sounded the most interesting and that I'm really excited about. If by chance I get through a lot of these, I might try to get some of the others, although I'm trying to stick with my TBR. I'm trying not to interrupt it too much. And now I'm hearing from a lot of people too that the translated fiction is an even better list than the regular fiction. And I haven't even explored that. It just, there's a lot. So that's the National Book Award. All right, that is it for the Tuesday Laydown. I will be back in a few days with some book mail that I didn't want to go over today because I just thought it was going to be too much. I hope you're all having a great day wherever you are. Again, thank you for stopping by. And if you like this, please like and subscribe below. Tell your friends, tell them to tell a friend. And yeah, have a great day, everybody.